Hi. Hello guys, I am Sasi Kumar and this is day 19 of improving my communication skill with reading the books and practicing some tongue twisters and explaining what I have done on that day, means today, what I have done today, like that of things I will usually do from day 1 to day 18, and this is day 19 and I am going to please complete this book today night, and no matter how much the time will take for reading two chapters and some additional two chapters. So I don't know how much time it will take, but yeah, I will finish it today night. And from next day, we will do some other way to improve. We will use some other way to improve our communication skills. Our main focus will be real practice of real lab practice, like question answers. We will use Chat GPT to ask some questions and answering lab, so that uh, it will improve my public communication skills. uh, right now I am practicing for our fluency, and once I'm going that I am converting my mind towards English thoughts and English thinking process. So now I think I am able to think in English, and I can speak English. Means I can read English clearly without fumbling. So from next day, from means you can say next cohort, this next part today, as we do from today onwards, we will do like one book, one type of routine we will follow. Just like in this book, we do tongue twisters and book reading, and sometimes we do external things. But from next time, we will do first. I will introduce myself in proper manners with as we I will introduce myself in further any interview and all those things, so that I will introduce like that. I will introduce myself like that. After that, after a while, I will read one chapter, and then I will do um, but I will do some questions and answering, means real life question answering, so that I can think by myself and answer. And I will use Chat GPT for that. Just like I will give some prompt to Chat GPT that today we will discuss on our area, our local area. So what can be question arise if anyone asks about my place and all those things, then that Chat GPT will ask questions to me, and then I will try to answer. And then I will ask again to Chat GPT that if I have done any grammar mistakes and any speaking mistakes, then please tell me and I will improve that. So that type of things we will do in next part. Means after completing this book, I will show which book I will show after the session in, which book I will read from next session, as our exam is end. And finally we completed our second year. And I will show once again. Where is the photo? Where is the photo? See, this is the whole batch. I hope uh, this is our whole batch, 120 plus strengths, and this is the only batch where every students come. Means 98% of our students come and beat. So their unity towards their branch, and take photographs with whole branch. And only this thing happens in civil engineering branch. That's why civil engineering branch is important to all, and that's loves which shown by our branch. In other branch have 40%, 30% like that, but in our branch 98% of students present there. 98 plus, I can say 99%. You are a students of some DG and some what I can say. Just leave it. But yeah, so this is all about today. Means I wake up at 8 9 p.m. and then I read read the remaining. So I revise the complete syllabus and then will then I go to the exam hall and I give my best in exam hall. After that, all friends comes together and take some photographs. And due to the as I am cameraman, so I know. But we are trying to capture the branch. Means our branch building, civil building, so that we have to what I can say, sacrifice or manage to black faces and all those things. But somehow I will I do some color grading to those photo, and I took a status, put a status, a story on social media. And yeah, that's the great things we have completed 2 year in our college. And from and just before completing 2 years, I am missing my one English novel, and I'm feeling proud to myself. Yeah, I am doing some things for myself, and as I know after of my 18, 19 years experience that for discipline you have to do exercise. Without exercise you can't be a discipline. How much you will do efforts and how much things you will try, you can't be disciplined. So if you want to be disciplined, first you have to do exercise or anything regarding your business. If you want to do yoga, running, and gym and anything that you want according to your choice. So if you will follow those, then you can be disciplined. Otherwise, no way to discipline. You can't be disciplined. You can't be followed discipline. So first thing you said, you should start exercise. Then then your routine will be automatically completely automatically be good. Means you will wake up at the time you want. You will drink water properly. You will eat foods properly. You will dress well, and you will communicate the friends well, because you have done mentally exercise. Means whenever you do exercise, then you exercise your means you fit with your physical and mentally both. So that's why I will suggest you one thing: do exercise and drink water. And if you will do exercise, then surely. So as I have to read too much pages today, so I'm going to start. How much pages? 20, 30 pages today. So now begin with chapter number 22, one step at a time. Yeah, we have to take a single steps at a time. Yeah, I can say one step at a time. आपको पहला कदम लेना ही पड़ेगा. As I have taken for my communication skill, improving my communication skill, and first I have to introduce this book. This is book Life is What You Make It by Preeti Shenoy. Life is What You Make It by Preeti Shenoy. And I will one more things, that I will upload one video where I I will explain why I choose this book, why I started with this book, and why this book is important. Not important, but why this book is make me uh, uh, increase my curiosity to read this book, and I start from this. And I will in approx 5 to 6 minutes I will explain what the things in this book and everything that I have read in this and what I learned from this. I will try to explain all the things. And yeah, I will upload this, and then I will also mention about what the next book I will going to read. So okay, so without wasting any single time, I'm going to read chapter number 22 of Life is What You Make It. The chapter is one step at a time. The next morning, when the doctors came on their rounds, Dr. Namita came along. She carried in her hand a large plastic bag. When the doctors finished their routine questions and were leaving, Dr. Namita stayed back. This is for you. This is for you, Ankita. Dr. Madhusudan told me to give it to you. She said as she handed over the packet to me. He also he has also asked me to work with you from 2:30 to 4:30 p.m. every day. I will see you here in the afternoon at 2:30 sharp, she said as she left. As soon as she left, I opened the packet. I contained as a set of children's book. As as soon as she left, I opened as soon as she left, I opened the packet. It contained a set of children's book. They looked old but were in perfect condition. Most were Russian books translated into English with fascinating illustration. The tales were very interesting, and I had never seen books like them before. There was a book titled "Within and Without Where His Coat Wrong Side Out." Then there was another which had said Baba Bada Yaga and other stories. Baba Yaga and other stories. Oh, sorry, I haven't shared the screen. So let's share the screen and see. There was a third book by Alexander Raksin which said when Daddy was a little boy. There were, then there was a book for teenager called Masha Nikiforova's Day. There were also books for breed rabbits and win the poor. I was surprised to find that Dr. Madhusudan had sent me such an assorted and rare collection, a stored and rare collection. I did not know what to make of it till I saw his note. One step at a time, Ankita. We are getting here. One step at a time, Ankita. We are getting there, he said, scrawled on a teeny bit of paper in his spidery handwriting which spilled across it. I could not resist opening the books. The first things that I saw when I opened the first things that I saw when I opened the first book were the words in a child's writing. This book belonged to Madhusudan Jairam and Vaibha Jairam. Beneath it was an address in Kerala. It was evident that the books belonged to Dr. Madhusudan's childhood. I also guessed that Vaibha must have been his sister, as they shared the mm, same surname and the address. It made me feel sad as I could picture the little girl whose hands must have held this book many years back. Who would have thought that she would take her own life? I felt emotional as I turned the page. What I saw took my breath away. The illustrations were simply fantastic and nothing like I had ever seen before. I gazed in amazement and wondered at the building and the acoustic pictures. The pictures were full of details. The color were vibrant. Some of the pictures were black and white and had a eerie, eerie, eerie death-like quality about them, as they were full of hatching and cross-hatching. I was so absorbed in looking at the illustration that I did must realize how time had passed. The attendant was calling out that it was time, recreation room. The attendant was calling out that it was time for recreation room. It was with great reluctance that I put the books away. I did not have much time to think about them as we had to go to the recreation room. I I walked along with Anuj and Sagar. I painted another picture. This time I painted the sofa in the room. I also painted the elderly lady who was knitting. I did not paint the feature on her face, but it was obvious that I had painted her from the clothes she was wearing and the pose she had adopted. Anuj and Sagar admired it once more dutifully. You are good at this. You paint well, said Sagar. These guys were so good for my ego. I felt happy to be appreciated. Before I realized before I realized it, lunch hour had passed and it was time to go back to the room. Dr. Namita was already there and when I came back from lunch, hi Ankita, she smiled brightly. Hello doctor, I replied. I was feeling a bit friendlier towards her after my talk with Dr. Madhusudan. Do call me Namita. Doctor sounds so formal. She smiled. That a statement of her own me over and I smiled. Ankita, Ankita, I am here to help you with the reading and the writing. She said a matter of faculty, hastily, factly, sorry. She said a matter of factly. There were no judgment passed here, and there was not a trace of pity of condes- condescension, pity or condensations in her voice. I lacked that. I wasn't sure what she had in mind, but I had a vague notion why Dr. Madhusudhan had sent me the book. Are you able to read those books? Asked Namita. I have only looked at the pictures so far. I have not tried reading the books. Let's do it. Let's do it. Choose anywhere. I looked at the book at one time. My desk had been filled with Kotler and other management book. Now it was children's book. It is hard to describe how I felt. At one time, reading the words had been the core of my existence. I had prided myself on my memory and intellect. Now I seemed to be back to a square one. It was almost as though I was reduced to the level of 6-year-old who had just learned to read. There was no way out from here. Dr. Madhusudan believed in me. His reassurance of my getting back to my old self soothed me. I could not let him down. I made up my mind. If reading children's book was what it took. If reading children's book, uh, huh. If reading children's book what what it took to get back my reading and comprehension abilities, I would do that. I had to make a beginning somewhere. I had to make beginning somewhere as I have doing that same thing. Okay, I said and I picked up a Masha Nikki Forward's days. So okay, I said and I picked up Masha Nikki Forward's days. Let me get another chair for this room and then we can use the table, said Dr. Namita as she called out the attendant to fetch a chair. He was back with a wooden chair in no time. Dr. Namita pulled the table towards her, away from the wall, and positioned her chair on one side. She mentioned me to sit down. It was a little like a tutor working with a single student. I opened the book and read the first line. I'm starting my diary, my diary, my diary, my diary. I, I am starting my diary today. Actually, I decided to start one long ago. I decided to start one long ago, last month or even before that. I found 20 kopecks today. The coin was lying on the sidewalk and there was nobody near it. But by the time I reached the end of the second sentence, I could hardly remember what the first sentence was. I was reading book I was reading, but I had no idea what it meant. I went back and read the first sentence, then the second one again. But once again, the words vanished from my mind, and I was left gasping for a meaning, for a nuance. nuance for the paragraph to make sense. Tears of frustration welled up in my eyes. Why wasn't able to read and retain a simple sentence? Why wasn't I able to read and retain a simple sentence? Is this how the rest of my life is going to be? Why am I not able to follow a children's book? I controlled my tears and told Dr. Namita, I cannot do this. I am not able to go on. Ankita, you will just have to try harder. Come on now, do it once more, she said gently but firmly. I tried again and yet again. It was the same result as before. My attention span and concentration were really affected. I was terrified. Had my brain been damaged? Why was this happening? I had been reading the same two sentences over and over again, trying, trying to make sense of it, failing miserably. Dr. Ramita could see my frustration and could sense my pain. Okay, Namita. Okay, Ankita. Namita, I don't. Okay, Ankita, let us do one thing. I will dictate and you write down what I am saying. Okay, she said. Yes, I barely managed to say. Dr. Namita chose the Breed Rabbit book. She began this dictating just two words at a time. I had no trouble writing them down. She then said next two words. Again, I had no trouble following it. When I finished writing the sentence, I was able to retain what it meant. We worked in a silence like this for about 45 minutes. I had written out the entire book. Finally, Dr. Namita said that it was enough for today. Enough for our day. Finally, Dr. Namita said it was enough for the day. Ankita, you have been under tremendous stress in the past months. Don't worry, you are making good progress. I will come back tomorrow, she said as she left. After she left, I started no, sorry. After she left, I stared at the words I had written. Then I broke down. My book shook with nerves wracking sobs. The cry sounded to my own ears like a primal cry for help. It was a cry for it was a cry of pure pain and helplessness. I felt anguish that I had been reduced to this state of having a rat out of a children's book before my brain could retain the information. I had my prided myself on my intellect. I had felt elated, and when I had topped the IT test in my MBA course, and when I had first cleared the management interest test, I compared what I had once been to what I had been reduced to, and the tears continued flowing. Gradually, the sobs eased. I got up and washed my face when I hear the attendant knocking on the door calling out for the outdoor time. Anuj and Sagar took one look at me and I knew they had seen my blooded short eyes. I think spending time in a mental health institution makes you hundredfold more sensitive towards other than you were earlier. You learn to value emotions. You learn to look out of look out for others. You learn to truly care. Most importantly, you learn to pay heed to what others do not tell you. I was taken aback when Anuj put his hands around my shoulder and said gently in a soft voice, Hey, don't be too harsh on yourself. It is okay. I was afraid that his kindness would unleash a fresh flood of tears, but I managed to hold them back. You see that guy there? Asked Sagar, pointing to the tall, lanky, bearded man. I nodded. He was a Senate member in the academic council at Stanford University. Can you believe it? He has a wife and a young child. They visit him on weekends. They visit him on weekends. He had a nervous break. He had a nervous breakdown, and that is why he is here now recovering. He said. And you know that lady, the one who is always stylish dressed, asked Anuj. I nodded again. She has an eating disorder. She has two children too. Her husband and her children were waiting for her to get better. You should, you should see the joy of her children's face when they visit her. What is the only time I have seen her smile, said Anuj. How do both of you know all these details? I asked. We have been around a lot longer here than you, said Anuj. I felt immensely grateful to them for the things they said. But more than that, I loved the fact that they had not magnified either and their ordeal or mine. They had not talked about themselves, nor had they probed me or even made me feel that I had to explain myself. They ha- they made me feel okay. I cherished that. It was a feeling that I had not had for a long time. I loved them for it. After that, the routine which had seen after that, the routine which had been set for my continued life went on like a train on track, governed by the railway timetable. Anuj and I played basketball, and Sagar did his great gardening as usual, till it was the time for sacred therapy. Dr. Madhusudan was there this time. We talked about the efforts in reading for the day. Dr. Madhusudan praised me and said it was a baby steps in the right direction. He encouraged me to try hard and not feel frustrated. He said my systems had taken a huge shock and emphasized that I would get back all the abilities that I had. It was just that I had to work toward it. And did not seem that way to me, but I desperately wanted to believe him. He was offering me a lever called hope, and I grabbed it. 6 whole weeks passed in this manner. I was getting better each day. By the end of the 6th week, I discovered that I no longer needed to write out the passages from the books to remember the previous sentence. I was overenjoyed. If someone had told me I had won the national lottery, I don't think I would have been as thrilled. This was truly the best things that had happened to me in a very long time. At one single sitting, I read Masa's Nico. At one single sitting, I read Masa Nicophorwatch Days from the beginning to the end. I just could not stop. The thrill of being able to finish a book and comprehend it perfectly matched no joy that I had known before. I simply could not believe it. I felt like dancing and shouting out the world and telling everyone who passed by, "Look, I am able to read. Look, I am able to remember." But of course, I controlled my emotion and pretend it was just another day. Nobody, nobody would have been able to understand the depth of my joy and the extent of my happiness unless they had themselves gone through what I just had. I hugged my little secret to myself and I hoarded the books as a miser hoarded these treasures. I could not wait to get time to myself so that could finish all the books. I was like a thirsty traveler in a desert who had finally got around the mirage, mirage and managed to reach the oasis. That evening, I broke the news to Dr. Madhusudan. He was as delighted as I was. That is indeed wonderful, Ankita. Well done, he said. Then he asked me if I was ready to meet my parents. He said that my parents had been often checking on me by getting in touch with him, but I still was not ready as yet. I told him to defer it by a few more days. I also asked Madhusudans, Dr. Madhusudan, if he could get me more books, and this time I did not want children's book. Yes, I have collection in my office. I will send them through Dr. Namita, he promised. The regular physical exercise and the routine said had been silently working wonder on my weight. The physical exercise regular physical exercise and the routine set had been silently working wonders on my weight. When I looked into the mirror one morning, I was surprised to see a glowing complexion and a peaceful expression. I smiled at myself as I brushed my hair. Suddenly, I felt wonderful and thankful to be alive. That evening, Anuj and Sagar had a gift for me. I was pleasantly surprised and touched. What is the question? I asked them, trying to guess what was inside the nicely wrapped packet. You don't need an occasion to make others feel good, Ankita. Life is a celebration, said Anuj. You don't need an occasion to make others feel good, Ankita. Life is celebrated. Life is celebration. I will write somewhere one day. You don't need. I'm taking picture of this. Oh. Now you sound like a new age group. All you need is some saffron drops and I teased as I did. Now you sound like a new age group. All you need is some saffron drops I teased. But I was secretly pleased to see the efforts that they had made. Their gift was two cassettes which were volume one and two of the world's greatest love song. Once again. Their gift was two cassettes, which were volume one and two of the world's greatest love song. There were a few of the latest number as well as all the classics. The song were all feel good songs. Nice, thank you. I said, nice, thank you. I said, and you can listen to them tonight. The said Anuj as he produced a tape recorder from behind his back. This is not a gift. I am just leading it to you. Claridi- he clarified quickly and I smiled. This is not a gift. I am just lending it to you. He clarified quickly and I smiled. That night I drifted off to sleep with Elvis Presley singing in his melancholic voice. Are you lonesome today? Complex one. The night I drifted off to sleep with Elvis Presley singing in his melancholic voice. Are you lonesome tonight? Are you lonesome tonight? Do you miss me tonight? Are you sorry we drifted apart? His voice filled the room and my mind raced back to those memories when Webo had played the song. Nothing's gonna stop us now on my birthday. Yes, same thing saying in my mind. Are you lonesome tonight? Do you miss me tonight? Are you sorry? Are you sorry we drifted apart? His voice filled the room and my mind raced back to those memories when Weber played the song. Nothing's gonna stop us now on my birthday. I could not help thinking what a long way I had come and how much I had grown up since then. It seems like a lifetime to me. Life was indeed unpredictable, and it was true that it could take a sudden unexpected turn. I contemplated, I contemplated in silence and kept one hand on my precious books that I had placed next to my pillow. As I fell as sleep that night, life as ended unpredictable, and it was true that it could take a sudden unexpected turn. I contemplated in silence and kept one hand on my previous books that I had placed next to my pillow as I fell asleep that night. This is all about story number 22, where we see the first steps taken for reading the books, how he listened to two words and then read, then remember one sentence and previous sentence, then he has started reading, doing same things for 6 weeks. Think 6 weeks means 1.5 months. Then she is able to read one books. Oh, that was a children's books, means one easy books you can say. So that's why she taken a one steps. Then she asked for some others books to Dr. Madhusudan, and their friends give some gifts, and then one good lens you can say. You don't need to an occasion to make others feel good. uh, Lap is celebration and the things, and, and they gifted some tapes and songs. So all about this for chapter number 22 and the favorite pram numbers, as you know. So this is chapter number 23. I am the master on my fate. Finally, it was time to leave. I felt a slight sense of trepidation as well as happiness. I was happy that my ordeal was over and I was now free. But I felt bad about leaving behind the world that had been my home for the past many weeks. I must have it. Chapter number 23. Oh, sorry, guys. Sorry. Once again, sorry. Um, Chapter number 23. I am the master of my fate. Finally, it was time to leave. I felt a slight sense of trepidation as well as a happiness. I felt a slight sense of trepidation as well as happiness. I was happy that my ordeal was over and I was now free. But I felt bad about leaving behind the world that had been my home for my past many weeks. Ma- Dr. Madhusudan had prepared me well. He said I had made remarkable progress and it was because of my strong willpower. As I always say, willpower is most important things in anyone's life, and determination alone that I had bounced back so quickly. I was still on lithium, which I had to take just once a day for the next 2 months. After that, he had trapped the course to be taken and it would have to taken every alternate day. For the next 2 weeks, then it would be very third day. Finally, it would be twice a week and then once a week, and then I could stop taking it altogether. Dr. Madhusudan emphasized that it was extremely important that I did not discontinue the medicine. He warned me that I would feel fine and I would be tempted to stop taking the medicine. He spoke to me about a lot of people who seemed to be getting better but had was suddenly simply because they had either discontinued the medicine or given up too quickly. As in real life, I also say if any medicine you are taking, you can't long medicine, then you cannot stop that medicine directly. Because you have to, if you are using medicine two times in a day, then you have to reduce it to one times in a day, then you have to reduce it to three times in a week, and then means alternate, then two times in a week, then one times in a week, then uh, uh, once time in a 2 weeks, and then slowly you can reduce. This goes with not medicine, this goes also with some habits that you make with peoples and other things. So you have to follow those steps to uh, living some things, discontinue with something. At Ankita, you have a real talent for writing as well as painting. Do something about it. Don't don't waste it. Not everybody is gifted. You are and you are indeed lucky, he said. Haha, maybe I will write a book someday, doctor. If I do, I would surely write about you. I joked as I brushed his compliment aside. I was embarrassed and I did not know how to handle it. He looked straight into my eyes. I would be very proud of you if you do it, Ankita, he said. He looked straight into my eyes. I would be very proud of you if you do it, Ankita, he said. I don't know what to say, and so I mumbled an incoherent reply and muttered a thank you. Then I took out the card that I had made for him the previous day and the recreation room. At the recreation room, I had painted a burning flame on the face of the card, which was surrounded by blushing a green light. Inside, I had written to Dr. Madhusudan, who went beyond the call of duty. I owe you a lot. You have taught me the value of life, and you have taught me that love and time are the greatest gift one can receive. Love and time are the greatest gift one can receive. I have put a lot of time and a lot more of my love into these paintings which I have made. There was a time when I could not paint and I could not write. Now I can and I hold them dearer, dearer than life itself. I guess you, of all people, would know completely what I mean when I say this. To me, this is the greatest gift I can ever give somebody. I hope you like that. With love and warmest regard, Ankita. The whole things that written in one card. Okay. I had chosen three of my best picture out of all the ones that I had been painting, and I had wrapped them carefully with old newspaper. Dr. Madhusudan opened the card right there. He read the card first and then looked at the painting. He spread them on his desk and gazed at them. He was silent for a long time. I could see he was moved. Then he saw Salad once and he said, Ankita, I shall truly cherish them. He was silent for a long time. I could see he was moved. Then he swallowed once and he said, Ankita, I shall truly cherish them. They are beautiful. Thank you. They will be frameable and displayed on the walls in my office. And I do wish you the very best in life. Mark my words, you will do well. I made I had made a card for Dr. Namita too. It was a simply thank you card with the pictures of a flower on it. I am really thinking about that. I am going to gift similar in the similar manner. I will gift some letters and some things to my friends that I made in IIT Hyderabad, our seniors and friends. So that's why I'm blushing and I am thinking about that. So sorry for that. Okay. I had made a card for Dr. Namita too. It was a simple thank you card with the you picture of a flower on it. I had not made a card for Anuj or Sagar, but decided to gift them my paintings. For Sagar, I had chosen two pictures which showed his beloved garden he so loved working in. For Anuj, I chose one which showed a view of the basketball court and another which showed the building which had been home to all of us. For the past few weeks, they were delighted with my gift. Thank you, Ankita, said Sagar, and he hugged me tight. He almost crushed me, and I hugged him back. I could feel his love and his genuine, 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 genuine friendships in that hug. And is my where is my hug? Only he gets to hug you, is it? Asked Anuj in mock anger. He gets to hug you, is it? Asked Anuj. Oh, okay, okay. Sorry guys, I rummed. I follow with the story. That's why I'm forget to switch. And where is my hug? Only he gets to hug you, is it? Asked Anuj in mock anger. I laughed, and as I hugged him and planted a kiss on his cheek, he was taken by surprise for a few seconds, and then he kissed me right back on both my cheeks. He then jumped up in the air and pumped his fist and said, "Oh, hoo," as I laughed in delighted at his antics. "This is not fair, by the way," said Sagar. "What, kissing him?" I asked, genuinely surprised. "What, kissing him?" I asked, genuinely surprised. "No, you silly, you came in here after us, and now you live before us. Now what are we supposed to do without you?" said Sagar. "I'm sure you will be live soon too. Or would you rather I stay here?" I half joked. A part of me did want to stay on. "Don't even joke about it," said Anuj. "You know, Ankita, when people joked about the how they think they should be admitted in mental hospital or how they think they should be on Valium, it take a great deal of efforts for me to smile," said Sagar. "You know, Ankita, when people joke about how they think they should be admitted in mental hospital or how they how they think they should be on Valium, it takes a great deal of efforts for me to smile," said Sagar. I knew exactly what he was talking about. I hoped Anuj and Sagar would get to live soon as well. I wasn't a topic we wanted to talk about, so we changed it and continued talking about the movies and other things as usual. That evening, we talked for a very long time. It was as though we wanted these few previous hours that we had left together to last for a lifetime. Finally, when it has time to go hug them again and said my goodbyes. It was raining the next day when my parents comes to pick me up. They are waiting in the recreation room. Dr. Madhusudan was there too. My parents suddenly looked a lot older than I remembered them. It was very emotional moment. We were we are we were not used to expressing our love in our family, and instead of hugging them and I stood there stupidly staring at my feet. Dr. Madhusudan summed up the entire things he had told me about the importance of continuing lithium. He then he then told my dad to be in touch on the phone. My parents were genuinely grateful to this man as much as I was. My dad promised to be in touch. We flew back to Bombay the same day. My parents were on treating me with extra care and concern like I was fragile. While I enjoyed their extra care and attentions, the fact was a lot tougher now than I had ever been earlier. My earlier ambitions had been to complete MBA and to prove myself in the corporate world. Suddenly, after what I had been through, it all seemed meaningless to me. I could not stand the thoughts of going back to MBA. I had grown up in so many ways since the time I first joined the course. I thought about my classmates and professors. I thought about the textbooks and case studies. The more I thought about it, the more meaningless they all seemed to me. It was as though I had been looking at lab through a keyhole earlier and seeing only the MBA bit. But now the whole door had been thrown open. My perspective had changed a lot. It was a paradigm shift in my approach to lab itself. My dad tried his best to convince me to go back. It reminded me that he had already paid the fees for the academic year. I felt sorry about it, but I emphasized that I would not go back. I had decided to drop out the course. An MBA from a premier institute was not everything in my life. Lab was far bigger. I had truly learned the value lab in these past few weeks. How could I make my parents understand that? How would they know I had changed and had grown? How would they ever relate to whatever I had gone through? How could I tell them the seat agony in writing out children's book page by page to comprehend them? How could I tell them what a large mountain I had scaled? Ah, how could I tell them about how could I tell them that I know value of my painting and my abilities to read and my words more than I valued anything else? I explained to my dad, thought about it, and I had now made up my mind. I would take 2 months off and then I would enroll in a creative writing course. I was something that I had always interested in. I would love to study further, but now on I would do only those things that made me happy and filled me with joy. My parents could see how I had changed and they could now see the strength in me. My parents could see how I had changed and they could now see the strength in me. I was so sure now of what I wanted in life. Life was too precious to not do the things one wanted to. I made inquiries at Bombay universities and enrolled for the course which has to begin in 2 months. It was a 1 year postgraduate diploma and also involved a practical stint with a media house. One could either write articles or a newspaper or a magazines depending on what one was interested in. Ones could either write articles or Ones could either write articles for a newspapers or a magazine depending on what one was interested in. It sounded exciting to me as it meant my words would reach thousands of readers. By the end of 2 months, my medications would have completely stopped too. I looked forward to the course and could not wait for it to begin. My parents told me that Babo had called many times while I was in the hospital. They had not told him that I was in the hospital. They had said that I need a break and was in Kerala visiting relatives. He had asked for a number where he could reach me, and my mother had said that I was in village where there were no phones. I loved her for waiting to protect me. I was not seeing my parents in a new lighting too. I felt very bad and regretful for the pain I had inflicted on them. I could see I could now see how hard it must have been for them to watch me go through it all. But the things is we had all emerged stronger because of it. I could now see hard it must have been for them to watch me go through it all. But the thing is, we had all emerged stronger because of it. My parents were now a lot more open towards my friends. Perhaps they had realized how important a part my family had played in my life. But it was not something we talk about. It was unspoken, but under. But it was, but it was not something we talked about. It was unspoken but understood. Now there was only one thing left to do. I had to write to Weibo and explain my long silence. I felt powerful and triumphant as I took out a paper and a pen and paused for a few moments, soaking in the exhilaration of being able to write and express myself. Writing was something I had made Writing was something I had taken for a granted earlier. I, I had not even thought about it, but now I valued each word like a precious gem. I choose I choose beautiful handmade paper and began writing. Dearest Vaibhav, it was Dearest Vaibhav, it has been such a long time since I wrote, and I am sure you have given all hopes of hearing for me. My mother tell me you called many times. Thank you for the care and concern. A lot has happened in these past months. I have no idea where to begin. My last letter you my last letter to you probably described my course and how well I was doing. But the latest from my end is that I had decided to drop out of my MBA. Yes, I can picture you being shocked and asked me why. It was very long story, Weber. I had probably have to talk to you for hours to explain why. Sometimes we don't appreciate fully what we have unless we lose it. With me too, it has been the same. I thought I was the greatest when I managed to get into the MBA course. I prided myself on my smartness and my intellectual ability. Perhaps in my I prided myself on my smartness and my in- intellectual intellectual. I prided myself on my smartness and intellectual abilities. Perhaps in my arrogance, I had considered myself superior to many others who had not made it. Who knows? I had presumed that having a corporate career is the ultimate thing in life. To go up the ladder, reach a high position, be financially independent, and roll in the big buck that a campus placement will bring you. What the thing? Financially. Financially independent and roll in the big bucks that a campus placement will bring you. But Wabo, I am so much wiser now. I am no longer as the same straight-eyed Ankita you attended the fresher induction program at my course. I have changed in many ways and at levels deeper than I myself can comprehend. But Webo, I am so much wiser now. I am no longer the same as eyed Ankita who attended the freshers inductions program at my course. I have changed in many ways and at levels deeper than I myself comprehended. My last few weeks have been spent in the occupational therapy wings in NMHI. My last few weeks have been spent in the occupational therapy wings of NMHI. I surprised two suicide attempts. I have been to hell and back, and what is more, I am proudly to say, I have lived to tell the tale. In case you don't know, NMHI is the best care of mental health in India. People came from all over the world over to get treated here. Strangely, Vaibhav, the last few weeks at OT Wings have been the happiest in my life. For the first time in my life, I felt I was doing something worthwhile with my time. I don't think anyone will fully comprehend what exactly happened to me unless they have themselves gone through what I have. Here I was a smart, promising young lady who suddenly had mental health issues and had to drop out. I know this is how the world would probably see it. The things is too the things is I do not care anymore. There is only a fine line between sanity and insanity. There is only a fine line between sanity and insanity. Who is to decide? Okay, I'm thinking. Okay, fine. Hmm. There is only a fine line between sanity and insanity. Who is to decide that someone is insane and others are normal? If somebody does not conform to set norms of behavior, the society terms them as eccentric, odd, mad, and crazy. Is it really fair? There is a stigma attached to anything to do with mental health. There is so much fear and so many misapprehensions. I know because I have seen it myself. Wherever because of my stay at the OT wings, I can see beauty in life. Each day I feel is a gift to be truly cherished. If you don't laugh for a day, if you have not made someone's day happier, if you have not appreciated something good that has happened to you, once again, if you don't laugh for a day, if you have not made someone's day happier, if you have not appreciated something good that has happened to you, and if you have not feel thankful to be alive, then you have wasted then you have wasted that day of your lab on earth. Oh, how I wish I could assort this art from the rooftops. How I wish I can shake everybody on the road and tell them this, but I don't do that as I don't want to be labeled crazy. Wink wink. I have met some remarkable people over the last few months, and I have made some amazing friends. I have learned so much. Webho such a lot really. I have realized that love and faith can indeed work miracle. I had realized that love and friendship do have a power. I would be joining a creative writing course shortly. That is something I have always wanted to do. I wish I could promise to keep in touch with you. Fact it, I really don't know anyone anymore. I would be joining a creative writing course shortly. That is something I have always wanted to do. I wish I could promise to keep in touch with you. Fact it, I really don't know anymore. I have changed now in such deep ways, and I'm a totally different person from the one you knew. You will not recognize me anymore. I'm no longer the same girl you once feel in love with. Take care, and you will always mean a lot to me. I can never say goodbye to you, and so I will just say that I will write back if you do. For the times we have spent together, love and laughter. Ankita. I felt my heart sinks and I felt my heart sinks as I almost escaped to post the letter to Webber. I felt proud of myself on the way I stopped to admire a bunch of yellow chrysanthemum chrysanthemums that had just bloomed. I sucked the in I sucked in the air deeply. I rejoiced in the senses. And when it began to rain, I smiled in delight, admiring each drop as it fell to the earth. I was celebrating being alive, and there was a strong feeling in my lap heart that I celebration could last as and when it began to rain, I smiled in delight, admiring each drop as it fell to the earth. I was celebrating being alive, and there was a strong feeling in my heart that the celebration would last a lifetime now. I was celebrating being alive, and there was a strong feeling in my heart that the celebration would last a lifetime now. The story ended here, and one last chapter. So it's a story ended here, but in the movies you see just villain is there, and then some um, every credit was started to writing in the last scene. But as the I'm Marvel fan, and this book is like that in the last post credit scene like that, but not post credit scene, but yeah, you can say post credit scene for this book. The name is Imp- Impilogs. I don't know. Impilog. 15 years later, what finally happened? Ankita went on the Ankita went on to gain six more academic degrees. Her thirst for knowledge was insatiable. It was as though she could not get enough of reading, and as though Mm, mm, I need some break as I have to read few more chapter pages. Uh, Finally, after 15 years, Ankita went on to gain six more academic degrees. Here, her thirst for knowledge was insatiable. It was as though she could not get enough of reading, and as though she could not get enough of academics. One of her degree included a master's in art therapy. Along the way, she met a kind, sensitive man, fell in love, and got married to him. He fully understood what she had gone through and admired her and all the more for it. They have a 4-year-old child who is already exhibiting artistic talent. They have a 4-year-old child who is already exhibiting artistic talent. She now lives in Bangalore and She now lives in Bangalore and practices as an independent art therapist working with schools as well as conducting sessions for corporate clients. She managed her bipolar disorder with no medications whatsoever thanks to her very supposed to her network of closest friends. Weber went on to the United States and pursued a master's degree from the University of Massachusetts, Massachusetts, and majored in computer science. He and Ankita corresponded for some time, but gradually lost touch. Weber met somebody for his course. I'm going bored. He and Ankita corresponded for some time, but gradually lost touch. Weber met somebody from his course and they grew closer and are now married. Weber went on to establish his own company in IT and is doing very well for himself and has settled down in the United States of America. Suvi went on to be the first woman to be on the board of director in the multinationals she worked for. She sailed professionally and and is hailed as one of the biggest businessmen. Uh, she sailed professionally and is hailed as one of the biggest business leader of our times. She is still unmarried and waiting for Mr. Right. Dr. Namita now heads the OT wings and at NIMH. She loves her jobs and would not give it up for anything else in the world. Dr. Madhusudan has now retired. He went on to establish the first suicide helpline in Kerala. It is manned by volunteers. It is manned by volunteers handpicked and trained by him. Since the last time it was established, it has saved hundreds of lives. Sagar has set up his own large-scale dairy farms and Konur in Tamil Nadu. Sagar has set up his own large-scale farms, dairy, dairy farm. Dairy is dairy, 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 dairy. Okay. Sagar has set up his own large-scale dairy. Sagar has set up his own large-scale dairy farms at Konur in Tamil Nadu, India. It also has a large holiday resort with well-tended garden, which is much sought after. He has started a trend of ecotourism, which took off in a big way, and he also won a award from the government of India for his initiative. He is married, and his wife gave birth to a set of twins last year, and he is the proud father of two cherubic baby boys. Anuj went on to establish an outdoor trekking company which was specialized in trekking holidays. He travels regularly with groups to various places like Peru, Nepal, and Uganda. He got married, but the marriage lasted only 3 years. He calls himself a footloose and finance-free bachelor now. Chaya, Jigna, Uday, and Joseph went on to complete their MBAs and are all well employed in various positions in multinationals. This is all about the story. Everyone settled on Babo, settled in US. Their friends from OT. One is one was good in gardening and she opened the restaurant and his, he have two children, twins, and Anuj was who was playing basketball. She was the outdoor trekking company, established outdoor trekking companies, and their friends in during MBA degree. Chaya, Jigna, Uday, and Joseph completed their MBA degree and good position in the multinational companies. And the one special guy, Dr. Madhusudan, has retired, and now means after that she opened one helpline, suicide helpline like that in Kerala, and he saved almost 100 plus peoples. And for that, he also selected some handpicked volunteer for that. And the last uh, chapter or last part for this book is author's note. What's the author's note? Ah, so should I read? See, I has completed almost you can say 3 chapters, two and 2.5 chapters, and only 1 hour 14 minutes happened. In earlier time, whenever I read the book with no clearance, no fluency, then I takes more than this time for one chapter. So now the last part, author's note. What the authors want to say. This book is a work of fictional, but is the based on some real life experience. However, all names of persons, institutes, and few other details have been changed to protect identities. Yes, that's the normal things. The book is not just about bipolar disorder. It is. It is a story of courage, determination, and growing up. It is also about how life can take a totally different path from what is planned, and it how one can make a success of it. It is it is a story of faith, belief, and perseverance uh, too, charting your own destiny. It is a story of faith, belief, and perseverance too, and charting your own destiny. Mental health issues are still a big taboo, especially in India. In the West, there is more awareness on this condition, and it is elevated to almost a status of celebrities disorder, with several people such as Kurt Cobain, Saint O'Connor, Mel Gibson, Axl Rose, and Rosie Osborne, to name a few, having admitted to have it. In India, people are still prefer not to talk about it, and even if anybody suffer from it, it is usually hushed up like anything to do with mental health is. Bipolar disorder is a serious brain disorder that causes dramatic shifts in mood, energy levels, attitudes, and abilities to carry out every task. It is very different from the normal mood change that every day everybody goes through from time to time. It develops typically in late adolescence or early adulthood. The symptoms are very severe and it is usually hard to diagnose as it is not easy to spot when it starts. The symptoms may often seems like a very normal personality changes which a person undergoes in the course of day-to-day living. Bipolar disorder can be so severely crippling that it can result in damaged relationships, poor job or academic performance, and even suicide. It has also been associated with creativity. People with this disorder experience intense emotional state which alternate between a high episode called manic episodes and it is followed by a low episodes called a depressive episodes. During a manic state, the person is overly heavy, outgoing, is bursting with high energy levels. Creativity is at an all-time high. There is a huge increase in goal-directed activities, and the person is usually there is a huge increase in goal-directed activities, and the person is usually restless and needs very little sleep. And the person is very energetic, optimistic, and enthusiastic about everything. It contrasts during a low period, there is an increasing feelings of worthlessness or emptiness, which is hard to describe. The person feels exhausted and has a trouble concentrating or or remembering things to making decisions. The person feels exhausted and has trouble concentrating or the person feels exhausted and has trouble concentrating or remembering things and making decisions. There is a loss of interest in everything that the person once enjoyed, including sex. Often, the person thinks of death and suicide attempt are not uncommon. There are several there are several variations of bipolar disorder. For more information on this, please log on the website of National Institute of Inst- For more information on this, please log on to the website of National Institute of Mental Health website http www.nimh.nis.government from which the above information has been condensed. In India and China alone, there are at least 12 to 15 million people who suffered from bipolar disorder. Source bipolar aesthetics squad by the depression and bipolar supportive alliance. The message that I was the message that I also wanted to convey through it book is have this book is that having a condition like bipolar disorder does not mean that the person is crazy or a lunatic, which are terms which people use without even a second thought. Having a disorder like that does not mean it is the end of the world either. It can be managed in a number of ways, and people affected can lead very positive and complete lives. Writing by its very nature is such an intense and a lonely exercise. It was not easy writing the skits of a book. Writing by its very nature is such an intense and a lonely exercise. It was not easy writing this kind of book without getting into the skin of the character, which would often leave me drained and emotionally exhausted. This book could This book could never have been written without the support of my spouse Satish Sonoy, who I consider one of my closest friends, and I feel blessed to be married to him. He would completely take over the practical aspect in running the house, would look after the children, and would give me my space and time without which I would never have been able to cope with being a full-time mother, wife, writer, and artist rolled into one. When he finally sat down to read the entire book, I was rewarded when I saw that he was totally engrossed in it and just could not stop reading till he had completed finished it in just a single sitting. That was a being complimented to me as the biggest critics are usually the ones closest to you. I also wish to mention the role of one of my closest friends, Ajay Chauhan, who was extremely encouraging my supportive. He he would keep sending me mails asking me when I would write the next chapter, and he compelled me to keep writing. He made me feel like I am the greatest writer on the earth. He was there for me throughout, unfailing when I needed him, and he remains a rock solid, dependable pal. I am grateful and happy to have him in my life. My closest friend, Charissa Castellino, has proved invaluable as she read through numerous drafts and redrafts. I cannot imagine life without her, and she remains one of my biggest emotional anchors. A big thank you to another very dear friend, Mayank Mittal, whose countless international phone calls kept me going. He has no idea how much he really helped. A thank you to all my other friends too. You know who you are. A special thanks to Dr. Anubhav Naresh for all the phone calls and the text messages and of course the help. A heartfelt thank to my blog reader who kept asking me when the next book will be out and telling me that they could wait to read it. And even bigger thanks to all of you who made my first book a national bestseller. Your encouragement helped. Thanks to my mother who understand me always, to my two wonderful children, Atul and Purvi, who always cooperate when mommy needs to write. And thanks to my mother who understand me always, and to my two wonderful children, Atul and Purvi, who always cooperate when mommy needs to write. And also a big thank you to the team of Srishti. If you have been inspired by these books and if you have enjoyed it, I would consider my task completed. The world is indeed a better place when there is a love, friendship, acceptance, and hope. Powered by this, you can indeed overcome anything, including destiny. Preeti Sunar, 21st December 2010. Preeti Sunar, 21st December 2010. Only 2 days, as uh, she completed on 21st December. Mean, these things, and I buy this book on 19th December. Yes, receive this book. And November. Oh, actually, I will clear all this. Okay, and thank you all guys who have seen me, who go through my this whole session, complete it, 19 days sessions of reading these books and trying to improve my communication skills. As I am little bit one steps, I uh, taken one steps, and I think I do the these steps. And one last things, I'm not going to leave uh, this page as well, the last about some other book. So I'm going to read as well as this pages. I want to read complete this book by the same author. One book is Wake Up, Laugh is Calling. A sequel of Laugh is What You Make. Oh my god, now I have to read this book. So I am going to order this book for next note. I will told to my brother, elder brothers, to order for me. One second. Sorry guys, as I promised last deck, I will not use phones during the session. But this is a important message from our XCR. That's for our branch. So that's why I have to taken for this. As The next book, one book by the same author, and this is the sequel, where Ankita has fought a mental disorder, been through hell, and survived two suicide attempts. Now in Bombay, surrounded by her loving and supportive parents, everything seems idyllic. She is not on medication. She is not on medication. She is in college. She loves studying her dream subject, creative writing. At last, leading a normal life. She immerses herself in very every bit of it. The classes, her friends, her course, and all the carefree fun of college. Underneath the surface, however, there is a trouble brewing. A book she discovers in her college library draws her in, consumes her, and sends her into a terrifying darkness that twists and tears her apart. To make matters worse, a past boyfriend resurfaces, throwing her into further turmoil. Can she escape her thoughts? Will Ankita survive the ordeal ordeal a second time around? What does Lab have in store for her? Preeti Sinhal's compelling sequel to the iconic bestseller Life is What You Make It chronicles the resilience of the human mind and the immense power of positive thinking. The gripping narrative demonstrates with gentle wisdoms how by changing our thoughts we can change our life itself. The gripping narrative demonstrates with gentle wisdom how by changing our thoughts we can change our life itself. So now, okay. So now I finished my first novel, Life is What You Make It by Preeti Sano, and you can say this is my dream book to read it from my 9 or 10 means 2021. Means 2020, maybe 2020 when I start thinking about this book. This is not a normal book for me, as I have read this for one ma'am, English ma'am, that attempted suicide, and she was reading this last novel, and she hadn't completed this. So at that moment when I read this in newspaper, then I was think that I will I will complete this book for her. But as I was child and I was not the ability to read this book, this type of novels, then I started, but I failed. I again sometime I start but fail. But this time now I am be come up with be a strong mindset, and I finished it, and now I will read the second part of this book, and also not next, but yeah, I will in future. And the next book I will see. Uh, I have some book. The English teacher. Lot of lots of books. The English teacher. I don't know which type of book is is it. Mm, the English teacher. One book is English teacher, and one is Think and Grow Rich. But this is in Hindi form, so I will ask to my friends, some friends. I think they have English book, so I will read that. And one is Lab's Amazing Secrets. So a national bestsellers, but I will read it after some times. But uh, see, I will read. I will start some books from tomorrow. I will search that books in the early morning. I will ask to my few friends. that which type of books they have. Maybe I will start Ikyagi, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I have two books right now. I will ask to friend at today nights. Then I will start from tomorrow. And tomorrow one event is organized by our juniors, not event, some program. Yes, some events. I am the part of an NGO like Sindri, that is the extension of Light GYS. I am that was run by IIT Kharagpur students. So okay, so thank you guys. In this book, I read this, and next time I will add some more books and I will finish all those. Yes, I will replace it by English book and some if, uh, in future I will read it also, as I have the power to read it in one go. So from next time I will read one and two chapters one in one sitting. And as I promise, I will introduce myself in two or three ways in every uh, means alternate day, and then I will read book, and then I will ask some question to ChatGPT, and then I will answer, and surely that will help me. And I hope I will help you as well in future. And one thing, if I'm not sure about today, it's 25th September, but I will try to one review video for 4 to 5 minutes. Um, all things that why I have started this, and this is my book who is promoted me to read this, and everything's I will covered on this, and this will be my first video that I will post on my social media and everything there everywhere. So thank you guys and many friends. First of all, I will thanks to our senior so yes, sir, as one night we discussed, and she told me, "You just start, and I will see. Means I will see whatever you are doing. I will suggest you what things are doing right and wrong. Just you should start." And then I motivated from them, and I take motivation from them, and I make and I started. And then, as my friend Pratyus, he was from my initial lesson from hostel number 22, his first year. He was promoting to improving my communication skills, but I was not practicing for that. But now, when I started, then he was trying to push me to get better. So for that, thanks to Pratyus and Animes, me and Pratyus. Then whenever we comes together, then we are in our purest form. In no fake words. That's the real thoughts that come for each others. Yes, you are stupid. You are stupid. I am like that guy. Yes, we accept it and we told rigorously means no means anything's in mind. Just say. And now yeah, they are helping me to improve my communication skills as I am good in all other things. The only weakness is my communication skills, and thanks to Rishabh also, as he also tried to help me, and some of my friends Kausal, Rahul, and some other like Nikhil, Alok, they also help me to improve my communication skills as they comes to the session and comment, and in day to day he asked me what are you doing, you are doing or not, how much the session you have done and all those things. One of my friends Siddham Satish, they are every day asked I am doing or not, I am consistent or not. They asked me, "Have you done or not? When you are doing to when are you going to conduct that sessions?" And yes, and thanks to me, as I have started this as not complex session, but yeah, this in hard situation of my exams, during exams. So thanks to me, and uh, when I started this reading this book, then I have one my female friends, but while reading the books, as the book as the a story is turning the as the books turnings the stories like good from bad, bad from good, and all those things. As with flow, I have done this far from my friends, and I but be little loves, and that the bad things as in the story said, don't be little, don't be little love, be little love. But sorry for that, but it's okay. Sometimes you have to take hard decisions to be disciplined and consistent, and to improve yourself. Sometimes you have to isolate yourself from others so that you can take some hard decisions and you can achieve your do good. So I have taken it, and um, now I think not in next 2 or 3 days I have to go home. And if I know I am able to do that sessions, but see if anything that's come, see what will be happen. So I'm happy. I am very happy. And from next day, as I see, I am good in speaking, but I am not able to think to give someone's reply. I'm not able to write someone's in reply. I use ChatGPT, but from now onwards, I will buy some books for specifics on that, how to reply someone's, how to write. Main topic is how to reply someone, and surely it will help me. Thank you guys. Thank you once again. And bye. Good night. See you tomorrow.